Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Brenscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Brenscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Brenscop, straight up from the root. Mark Brenscop, who tell the truth? Mark Brenscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Brenscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Brenscop, straight up from the root. Mark Brenscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Brenscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Brenscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Brenscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Brenscop, straight up from the root. Mark Brenscop, who tell the truth? Mark Brenscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Brenscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Brenscop, straight up from the root. Mark Brenscop, we have figured the wrong. Grab a seat and sit down.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything. Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give a $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujurong?
Su? Oh, Su.
Hawk 2.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%. Get your give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base. Then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up.
Everybody's fed up. Good night. My name is Mark Benchap. We're going to rock and roll for 1 hour right here on 107.1 FM. Share the link, spread the word, and let folks know that we are on. And look what's happening. Look what is happening in Guyana. I've got to be careful now. Some folks say that I say Guyana and that it is Guyana. Let me apologize to all those folks, every single one of those folks who have messaged me to say that the correct pronunciation is Guyana. not Guyana. I don't know where I got Guyana from. Please do forgive me. I'm now learning about the pronunciation. It's Guyana. It's Guyana, not Guyana. So if you accept my apologies, well, thank you so much. I never knew that. My gosh. Guyana. Good night to all of you. Level Vibes and Edward Moore and Matthew Dennison and Paula Johnson and Mary Figueroa. Every single one of you. Good night and welcome to Straight Up. We are going to rock and roll under the PPPC. That's what's happening. Look at what's happening. Under the PPPC. The PPPC, they have absolutely nothing to offer. Nothing to offer you guys. Nothing at all. And that is why come September 1st, if there is going to be a September 1st elections, remember we told you guys from the beginning, because we do not half step right here on 107.1 FM. We know the cards, the dirty tricks of the PPP regime. And when they announced half-heartedly the elections day, September 1st, we knew right here because we told you so. Now you guys are beginning to put the puzzles together. You didn't understand the check game, and I don't want to spend the rest of the night just saying we told you so, because it is true. Lots of things we told you right here on 107.1 FM. But when we tell you guys that, your bums raise and you start to question things. You don't analyze, not all of you, mind you. You've got to read between the lines. It is about politics. And the PPP, they were just testing the waters with the elections. And now we're hearing things that they don't really want the elections. Elections was supposed to be sometime in November. But they went back, they went to the drawing board, and they said that they're going to call elections September 1st. And they tested the waters. They know that people don't want them. They know that the majority of Guyanese people, they want a government that is not corrupt. Well, at least close to being perfect, with individuals who care about country. That is all. Individuals who care about country and putting country first. Patriots. That is what. And the opposition, again, the opposition, they have a perfect opportunity to get this ball rolling and get the corrupt PPP out of office. But you can't dilly-dally, someday here, someday there, some this, some that, and unnecessary distractions as well. And a lot of them in the opposition, I'm talking about APNU, PNC, and so the AFC. Sometimes I feel like so sorry for the AFC. I'm sorry about that. I get a bit distracted sometimes, right? And so the combined opposition, whatever that is, right? You get the PNC, you get APNU, you get the other parties and so forth and so on. They got to intensify this campaign if they want to grab this pie. But they cannot be distracted. Lots and lots of distractions, if you know what I mean. And some of you crying, some of you don't even know which side y'all on. 1 foot there, 1 foot there, 1 foot there, 4 foot, another foot there. Some of y'all don't even know what y'all want in this election. Some are confused. Some are emotional about the issue. Some are just eager to see the backs of the PPP regime, which is good. Don't get me wrong. And then they're jumping all over, jumping all over, jumping all over. All over they're jumping. The soup drinkers are all over too. The soup drinkers are blowing hot air. Some of them are sharing out Mirror newspaper. Some of them are all over the place. Sickening, right? The PPP is afraid of the elections. And the PPP is not afraid of the elections now. The PPP were afraid of the elections since last year, since the year before. They know what was coming their way. And it's nothing new, mind you. The biggest threat for the PPP right now is the opposition. The biggest threat right now is the opposition. That's all I wish to say. That's all. Good night to all of you. Sometimes some of you guys don't like to listen when you come into this classroom. Y'all go over to Paul Slow's classroom. Y'all sit down and y'all get Paul Slow. And then the other guy that's with Paul Slow, what's his name? A good guy. They're good guys. Don't get me wrong. But this is a serious classroom. Not to say that Paul's classroom isn't. Let me leave Mr. Slow alone. He does a great job. And we need people like Paul with the expertise in terms of policing. Is it CJ? Conway, Mr. Conway, yeah. And I like watching them at times whenever I have the opportunity to. And those are good programs, mind you. But this classroom is night class, right? You know, you work all day and you come to night class, right? Sorry about that. Good night to all of you. Yeah, Cece, they do a good job. And if they're watching, continue the good job, guys. Continue the good job. So here is what I'm saying. Don't lose focus, because this whole fighting and who paying for lobbyists and who this and who, it's a distraction. And sometimes when the opposition supporters, they get caught up between these two chaps fighting, that's what it is all about. It's a personal war that's going on. And I've said this before. Y'all do not be distracted, guys. Stay on track. Do not be distracted. And when I say to you guys, do not be distracted, some of y'all bumps raise and all manner of things. And they fall out. It's huge. Let them fight. Let them destroy each other. But you guys do not lose focus. Do not be swore. It is a personal war that's happening here now. We see it each and every day. Do not lose focus. Do not think that because of the personal war that somebody's on your side and cares about. No, it's a personal war. That is what it is. Stay focused in the opposition. The real opposition, stay focused. And we know who the real opposition can be Mohammed. How the heck he could be the real opposition? What has he done to fight for Guyanese people? And well, come on, you guys don't go that route, man. Don't go that route. These people, as I noticed somebody said, personal beef. These people get personal beef. That is what it is. Personal beef. And they're venting their personal beef and grudges and all manner of things. That is what is happening. And while they're doing it, they're distracting some of you guys. Do not be distracted. How many times you guys want to hear this? Do not be distracted. Now, I saw a video and somewhere on social media, and our operator, if you can cue it up, please. Cue it up. I noticed we have a student in the class. They say some Selwyn is in the classroom. He dropped out of this classroom. He dropped out. He got kicked out. He failed. And then we noticed that he's coming back through in the class. Y'all welcome, Sel. Welcome in the class. Welcome. He's here to distract you guys. That is what they do. They love to distract and distract and distract. That is what this election's all about. Distractions. Do not fall for it, guys. And now let me say this to all of you. All of you. Let me say this. And before I get to that, what is it? Lobbyist? This is not the first time the PPP is using lobbyists. It is not the first time. Remember, there was an issue with who paid lobbyists in Washington, whether it was Sam Hines or whether it was the Mohammeds paid lobbyists. It wasn't so long ago. And now we're hearing about the PPP playing lobbyists or whatever. And then the Mohammed's bombs raised. But not so long ago, it was the PPP. Supposedly, they got to say, and maybe Mohammed them could say, who really paid the lobbyists 2 years ago when we heard of some former FBI agent and so forth. Look, I'm telling you guys, this is a personal war. And sometimes, anyways, man. Anyways, y'all bet, as we say in Guyana, sorry. Y'all bet us tech warning. Y'all bet us tech warning. That's all I wish to say to you guys. Bet us tech warning. Still, Sam Hines didn't tell us who paid that lobbyist in Washington. Y'all remember the whole story? Y'all remember? And now we're not talking about 83,000 acres of land given to the Mohammeds, them, just like the 83,000 acres of land. These guys were all buddy-buddy. They were all business and booming and billions of dollars of contracts and all these things. Not so long ago. Not so long ago. And suddenly people just got up overnight and they care about some of you guys, right? If y'all don't learn this elections, I know when I gonna learn. Right, Civic? I don't know when y'all gonna learn. Y'all do not let that guy who dropped out of this class come in here to disrupt you guys. Y'all stay focused. Stay focused, because this is a program where they learn. These guys in the opposition, not the opposition, the corrupt PPP, they learn. This is where they learn stuff. They come here to learn. This is like a law school for Selwyn. This is Selwyn's law school. All right, so here what's going on now. I want you guys to take a listen to this Irfaan Ali. Yeah, Irfaan Ali. Again, and I'll break down this personal war for you guys. And I don't want you guys to be distracted. Stay on focus. Stay focused. Listen to this.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He is sanctioned by the United States. He is sanctioned by OFAC. When you're sanctioned...
Now, wait a minute. Irfaan Ali, who is the installed president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, just said less than 24 hours ago that this guy that he's standing right next to, Mohammed, is dangerous for the country. Now, wait a minute, man. The thing that is so hypocritical about all of this, is it only now Irfaan Ali is finding these things out? Didn't he know the Mohammeds them before, when they were all sucking up each other, when the Mohammeds were given billions of dollars in contracts to build a fire station headquarters, duty-free concessions? Didn't they know this? You can't tell me they didn't know this. So suddenly Irfaan Ali wants to fool you guys too. That is what's going on. They're fooling you guys, and some of you guys falling for the swar. Just like this overnight, Irfaan Ali wants you guys to buy in to his nonsense. You know, I'm not saying whether it is true that this guy, what's his name, Azruddin, is dangerous to Guyana, but he has been sanctioned by the U.S., and it is alleged that he has been indicted. There's sealed indictments on very serious charges. Now, take a listen. Let's go back to Irfaan Ali. Take a listen to Irfaan Ali and the hypocrisy.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He is sanctioned by the United States. He is sanctioned by OFAC. When you are sanctioned by OFAC, you are in breach of major international laws and treaties.
Now, we don't need Irfaan Ali to tell us about OFAC sanction. This is the same Mohammed's guys who were sanctioned, but it took months. Irfaan Ali, they didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to let go. They didn't want to do anything at all. And they continued with their friendship with the Mohammeds until recently. Now, personal war, don't get me wrong. And during the sanction time, they never came out. Irfaan Ali, they accepted this. The father, being part of the PPPC local government elections in 2023, PPPC Eccles Ramsburg constituency, the same Mohammeds that Irfaan Ali is telling y'all right now. I want you guys to read between the lines. Don't be distracted. Okay? This is Irfaan Ali, and this is what Irfaan Ali is telling you guys.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. Yes.
Okay, so understand the hypocrisy there, right? A man that is so dangerous to society was once very close, very, very close to Irfaan Ali and Jack Dieo and all the powers that be, and all the senior police officers of the Guyana Police Force. Yet, according to Irfaan Ali, and read between the lines the hypocrisy. Listen again.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. Yes.
So the question is, when Irfaan Ali found out that Azruddin Mohammed is the most dangerous, or a dangerous man to Guyana, when did he find it? Was it last night? Was it last week? But he didn't know that, though, when he accepted vehicles from the same set of people then, and the same Azruddin that he's claiming is...
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. Yes.
Dangerous to our society, but yet Irfaan Ali accepted gifts from the Mohammeds. Yet Irfaan Ali and the PPP regime accepted millions upon millions of dollars from the same Mohammeds, the same guy that he's claiming is dangerous to society. He didn't know that when he got this vehicle, or these two vehicles that we saw the day that he was installed at the Arthur Chung Convention Center. The two vehicles that he got into, his wife got into, he didn't know that? And now this is the question that we're asking here on 107.1 FM. Didn't he know this when he was freeloading?
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society.
Okay. So here's my question to Irfaan Ali. Here's my question. In June 2020, that's last year, when the sanctions hit the Mohammeds, serious sanctions by OFAC. Now, Irfaan Ali is saying that, and I quote, he says that he's not compromised. Ali says Mohammed's vehicle used for short period out of necessity. Now, the man that is dangerous to society, Irfaan Ali, accepted his vehicles, accepted all these things from the Mohammeds. And God in heaven knows what more he accepted from the Mohammeds. What more? Now, let's go back. This is the vehicle. One question I want to ask Irfaan Ali. What has happened to these vehicles that he got from the Mohammeds? Did he return the vehicles to the Mohammeds? Simple question. Did he return these vehicles to a man that is dangerous to Guyana, according to Irfaan Ali? Now, according to Irfaan Ali, right? Okay. Now, listen, I want to take you guys through asking this question, because this is what Irfaan Ali said concerning the vehicles. He clarified that the vehicle was used during the election campaign ahead of the March 2nd, 2020 general and regional elections. So he has admitted that those vehicles were gifted to him by the Mohammeds. He went on and he said, it was not used after August 2nd, 2022. Now, should we believe Irfaan? Well, I don't. The day he was sworn in or installed as president. Now, this is what Irfaan Ali has said. The vehicle that I used was during the election campaign, and after my security advised me that I needed a safe vehicle because of the distance I was traversing, and in their assessment, the threat I was exposed to. I didn't hide it. I didn't drive in a tunnel. I did not use that vehicle after assuming office. The day I was sworn in, I was dropped home, and the vehicle provided by the office of the president was used from the next day. That is what Irfaan Ali has said. So the question again is, can Irfaan Ali say what has happened to the vehicles that the Mohammeds gave to him for, quote unquote, the campaign? That is all. And according to Irfaan Ali, the most dangerous or a dangerous man, what is he describing? Well, he's something like the law enforcement, U.S. law enforcement agents that, or agencies that know a lot about the Mohammeds, seem to be echoing. But coming from Irfaan Ali is hypocritical. Take a listen to Irfaan again.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He's sanctioned.
Now, how is it that the Mohammeds can defraud the state without the help of Irfaan Ali? This is the same Mohammeds that they gave in 2020 when they were installed. They gave the Mohammeds billions of dollars in contracts. The fire station headquarters and other contracts, billions of dollars. Irfaan Ali didn't know that the Mohammeds or Azruddin Mohammed was dangerous to Guyana? Or is it because it was convenient then that they received all the gifts from the Mohammeds, then they didn't know that the Mohammeds were dangerous for Guyana? Now they know that. They didn't know the allegations of the smuggling of gold and the smuggling of all sorts of things and allegations of terrorism. They didn't know that then, but suddenly they know that, right? Interesting. Very interesting, right? But when the same Mohammeds, they were issued gun licenses, high-powered weapons, and all manner of things, and Irfaan Ali and Jack Dave and all these guys were aware of it. Listeners, wherever you're from, wherever you're at right now, all these high-powered weapons that were issued to the Mohammeds under the PVP regime, 83,000 acres of land, other hundreds upon hundreds acres of land, and deals upon deals. They didn't know that this guy, Azruddin, was bad for Guyana. Now they know that.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He is sanctioned by the United States. He is sanctioned by OFAC. When you are sanctioned by OFAC, you are in breach of major international laws and treaties. That is who Azruddin Mohammed is. Let us not reshape that. It's not the government of Guyana that sanctioned him. It's the United States of America that sanctioned Azruddin Mohammed. It's the Reuters. You're part of Reuters outfit.
No, Mr. President.
All right, so you can get a local person from Reuters. It is Reuters, an independent news agency, that wrote the story about drug smuggling, about gold smuggling, and other illegalities. It's not government of Guyana. So let's get off of this horse. That is government of Guyana. It is not government of Guyana. So your news agency.
Now, forget about Irfaan Ali and his lies. OFAC actually, the report and all of the reports always state that the Mohammeds, according to reports, mind you, allegedly, they bribed government officials. Government officials, that's according to the report. And I am certain that Irfaan Ali is not excluded from that bribery. I am almost certain that Irfaan Ali is not excluded from that bribery. And so for Irfaan Ali to come out now to pretend as though they didn't know of all these allegations over the years allegations of smuggling fuel through to Curacao. Maybe that guy Robert Prasad, who was then Minister of Natural Resources, can say to the nation what he knows about the allegations of the Mohammeds smuggling gold through Curacao. At least maybe some law enforcement agencies in the US are aware of what transpired in Curacao, and maybe the government of Guyana, then headed by Barra Jagdeo, is also aware of what was happening. And so suddenly, Irfaan Ali wants to tell you guys that the Mohammeds, and especially this guy, Azruddin, is dangerous to Guyana because of accusations of gold and gun and drugs and all these things. The same person that you were able to take vehicles from and accept donations for your party and maybe personal, I don't know. And it's the same Mohammeds, them, the same dangerous ones, them, that you were able to put as candidates recently, not 10 years ago, 15 years ago, recently, just the other day in late 2023, all these things. And y'all want people to suddenly, Irfaan Ali wants people to believe them. But look, let me say that this, and I continue to say, that this is a personal war between Irfaan Ali and the Mohammeds. A personal war that's happening between the PPP and the Mohammeds. Just like there was a personal war between the PPP and Brian Tiwari, just like that, there was a personal war. They called Brian Tiwari all names. They didn't give Brian Tiwari contracts and all manner of things they did. They call him Nimakaram, they call him Chamar, they call him Katahar, they call him Korhi, they said he is Teddy Kabur, Nani Kachodor, and all manner of things. He's a Longera and he hanging over with APNU, Apnu APN, all manner of things they said about him. One question I want to ask you guys today. One question. Where is Brian Tiwari? BK, where is Brian Tiwari? I'll look at your comments while I play back this tape from Irfaan Ali describing his friend, family friend, Azruddin Mohammed, as dangerous for Guyana. Again, let me say, Irfaan Ali seems to be echoing sentiments of law enforcement agencies in the US and maybe Canada and maybe the UK too. But coming from Irfaan Ali is quite hypocritical, because just recently, not just the Paper Shorts murder that they rushed to cover up, mind you, and Irfaan Ali needs to tell us a little more about that and why the police force, whether the police force, members of the police force were instructed to cover up that crime, and we all can assume. But here is Irfaan Ali.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He's sanctioned by the United States. He's sanctioned by OFAC. When you are sanctioned by OFAC, you are in breach of major international laws and treaties. That is who Azruddin Mohammed is. Let us not reshape that. It's not the government of Guyana that sanctioned him. It's the United States of America that sanctioned Azruddin Mohammed. It's the Reuters. You're part of Reuters outfit.
No, Mr. President.
All right, so you can get a local person from Reuters. It is Reuters, an independent news agency, that wrote the story about drug smuggling, about gold smuggling, and other illegalities. It's not government of Guyana. So let's.
I don't, something is definitely wrong with these guys. Something is wrong with them. And that is why I'm saying elections, we're not convinced, though, that elections are going to be held on September 1st. We're not convinced. At least we have said that from the beginning, that it's not. And we maintain that it's not. The PPP is not comfortable with elections. And therefore, I was surprised that they called the elections. Maybe they'll postpone it. Not for November when it's constitutionally due, but maybe for sometime next year. I would say maybe March or April of next year, because what they are going to do now, and listen to the trick, what they are attempting to do, I should say, is to create a situation where they tested the waters to see how many political parties there are going to be and how many persons are going to be contesting the elections. And they're now of the view that since they have tested the waters, they see where it is right now, and they're serious trouble. They're in serious trouble. They're in troubled waters, right? And so the intention is to not have the elections held September 1st. And if they can buy time so that they all can negotiate with their friends that they fall out with, that's just my opinion, mind you, so that they can all get back on track like BK and so forth. And then they may talk about vetting the list. They may talk about biometrics. And if they talk about biometrics, then you can kiss elections goodbye for this year. You can kiss elections goodbye. I would be surprised because the PPP is injured. And they're injured not because of what's happening on the ground. They've been injured as a result of social media activists. All of you out there who have been championing the cause of democracy and standing up against the corrupt PPP regime, they are afraid of that. They have lost that battle. This is not about an individual. It has never been about an individual. 2 years ago, the PPP was in trouble. 1 year ago, the PPP was in trouble. 3 years ago, the PPP was in trouble. The time they were installed into office, they were in trouble. Why you think they continue to fight as mighty as they did so that the elections petitions cannot be heard? Why you think they rush to persecute individuals, Roxanne Myers, Keith Lowenfield, and Mingo? Why you think they did all of that? Why you think they were rushing to charge people, all sorts of charges? It is not overnight. It is things that were happening over 2 years, 3 years ago, because the PPP was in trouble since then. They continue to be in trouble. We all know it. They were complaining like little rascals every single day. Tanti Morla Thursday at her so-called, I don't know why I keep saying her, but at his so-called press conference, they were in trouble. Trouble. When are you guys going to understand that this trouble the PPP is in is not as a result of Azruddin, or the Mohammeds? It's not a result of that. However, in some aspects, we begin to see the cracks of the PPP regime, but they were cracking all along. When are you guys some of you going to realize that? They have been cracking all along. That is why every Thursday, Jack Deere puts on his lipsticks and his wig, and he models for the world. They have been in trouble since then. They are confused. That is what is happening. But if the opposition guides them, the real opposition guides them, if they were staying focused and fighting this corrupt PPP regime, then the PPP could never pomposette themselves, as we would say, the way that they're doing it right now. But you had some MPs who didn't know what side they're on. They had some MPs who didn't know this. They didn't know. They didn't know which side they're on. And so they continue to play games. And so the PPP were able to play a little catch up with them. But the PPP was cracking all along. Cracks upon cracks upon cracks. Good night. So be careful with this personal battle. Be careful with them. And be careful with individuals who claim or pretending now that they like you so that they can penetrate your constituency, penetrate the opposition, and weaken the opposition. Remember, their position is not to do anything good for you, but to weaken the opposition. Some may say the opposition is already weak, but to weaken the opposition, that is the objective. To weaken the opposition. They're not fighting for anything else. And the people who will suffer the most if they don't wake up, because all the fighting within the opposition is to chip away most votes from the opposition and a little votes from the PPP. Because at the end of the day, you understand PPP support base. Understand it.
This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He is sanctioned by the United States. He is sanctioned by OFAC. When you're sanctioned by OFAC, you are you
Yeah, he's sanctioned by OFAC. Yeah, but so was a government official, a PPP official, a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs. She was sanctioned too. Isn't she dangerous for Guyana? Isn't she? But yet the same PPP took her, and guess what they did? They still kept her on the payroll. Your tax-paying dollars. Isn't Thomas Toussaint, isn't she dangerous for Guyana too? She was sanctioned. What about the other guys who were sanctioned? Not a word from Irfaan Ali. Some of these people are connected to Irfaan Ali. Some of these people are connected to Jack Dio. Or maybe all of them are connected to the PPP regime. What is it that Irfaan Ali would say about these people as well? Sanctioned for drug trafficking by the US, sanctioned by the same OFAC that sanctioned the Mohammeds, the same OFAC that sanctioned Thomas May Toussaint. Sanctioned. But yet she apparently is still being paid with taxpayers' dollars. And some one of the reporters in Guyana should ask Irfaan Ali whether May Toussaint, is still on the payroll. She is dangerous to Guyana too. He's not going to talk about that. This police officer is also dangerous. Is also dangerous for Guyana. Dangerous for Guyana. Very dangerous. But Irfaan Ali is not going to come to you guys and tell you guys that, right? No. The fact that this individual, Jack Dio, who loves to wear lipstick and wigs and parade around the cathedral at nights, Irfaan is not going to tell you that Jack Dio is dangerous for Guyana. They're not going to tell you that. Corruption, death squads, association with death squads, killing squads, and all these different things. They're not going to tell you that, right? They're not going to come and tell you these things. All the murders that happened under the PPP regime, all the murders that happened, every single one of the murders. They're not going to tell you about their business friends that are brutalizing citizens every single day. So if one man is so dangerous for Guyana, then what about all of the other criminals in the PPP regime? Now, I'm not saying all the PPP supporters are criminals, but we know who these so-called business people are. Some of them are gun smugglers. Some of them are drug dealers, drug lords. Some of them are gold smugglers who are still being protected by Irfaan Ali, Jack Dio, and the PPP regime. It's happening. And even members of the police force, because that is what they do. They protect their goons until they fall out. And then when they fall out, they go after their goons. That is what they do. And so this personal war, you guys have to be careful. Because if you guys are not careful, guess what? You can't say we never warned you guys here. You can't say we never told you guys here. Because it is not the PPP support base that's going to be dented that much, but it's the opposition support base. And that is what you guys in the opposition, that is what you got to be careful about. And that is why you guys have to be more aggressive on the ground. You can't be complacent and think that one individual is penetrating the PPP. It's not. There's not much evidence of that. Read between the lines again. Read between the lines. If y'all can't read between the lines, well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So this young man that's missing, well, he's no longer missing. He was found, he's alive, and he is recuperating. He's alive and is recuperating. We're glad that he's alive. We're glad that he's okay. But there's no information about the so-called allegations of rape that's leveled against him. There's nothing at all. We haven't heard anything pertaining to that. Absolutely nothing. Maybe we should get an update on what's happening. But here's what I want to say to you guys, though. You've got to stay focused. Hit the campaign trail. There will be more resignations. And don't allow the resignations were all predictable. All of them. Every single one of those resignations didn't come as a surprise. They were right there. They were the slips, just waiting for an opportune time to just make the leap, make that jump. And here is how ungrateful those individuals are. If they knew all along that they wanted to jump ship, worse than the guys at the workers at the cathedral, we understand them. But these opportunists, they sat there for the most part, didn't do much, ignored their constituency, collected close to $3,100,000 per month, duty-free concessions, and other nice things. And then they waited until there is no more parliament, until, well, it hasn't officially dissolved, but they waited until the end to make that switch. And they're making the switch not in the interest of the country. Personal gains, that is what it's about. And to me, that is so insulting. And wherever they go, and let me say to opposition supporters, wherever they go, because remember, they used you guys for that purpose, and then they jump off ship and say they quit. Some of them try to fancy up things, because we know where some of them are going. And not all of them are going to the PPP, but most of them have already gone to the PPP. It is not like they're taking votes with them. But here is one thing that you guys in the opposition have to do. Those who have neglected you guys, those who have waited until the last minute to jump ship, you got an opportunity to repay them. Elections day, you will repay them, of course, right? Because they have a saying, who laugh last, laugh the best. Repay them because they have neglected you. They haven't worked. They haven't done much. It's just like you're in a boat. And those of you who travel in boat, you know, Dutchy boat landing or Adams boat landing in Linden, they got some guys, they don't wait until the boat reach to the head of the bank. They wait, and then when they jump, they just jump off. They jump ship. They just jump. And that's what happened with these guys. They jump. They have no patience. None whatsoever. Politics for them is what they can gain. And a lot of them too, not just confined to those who already jumped ship. It is people. Some of them believe that in order to work in the interest of the country, you got to have a position. You got to be a member of parliament. You got to be a minister. And because some of them don't get that opportunity to become an MP or a minister, they bumps raise, they throw in the towel, and they go and hide. We saw some of them in the coalition government. When some were told that they weren't going to return to parliament, they dung tools, so to speak. They stopped working. They dung tool and they stopped working. That is what they did. Dung tool, stop work. They may get time with nothing no more, all because the bumps raised, because they knew they weren't going to go back in parliament. And it's a big thing for some of these people. They can't come on Facebook and do a nice show and host their parliament here. They want to go in parliament so that they can get benefits. Some of them got a little fancy food. Poor me. If I had my way, I served them milk and rice in parliament. But they got it. How much of them, you check them out, when they got into parliament, they were skinny. As soon as they gone, then some of them big and healthy now. Not just the opposition side, some of them in the PPP side too. So then on the PPP side, were starving until they got into parliament. They become members of parliament. They're doing what is this face thing? Facial. They're doing pedicure, manicure, all sorts of things they're doing. They go around the cathedral for other cure. That's all they're doing. They're living off the fat of the taxpayers of the country. And they're not giving anything back to the people. Sometimes they come with a little crumbs, a little t-shirt here and there. And this is what it is. Now elections time, they come around to you and telling you, give them another chance, vote for them. No, you cannot. Anyone who votes to give the PPP, anyone who does that, to put the PPP back in office, something is wrong with them. Now, I heard that lunatic Freddie said that somebody left Irfaan. He believes this is a relationship thing now. Anybody who leave Irfaan to go and support the sanction guys, them party, need to go and check their mental health status or whatever. But let me say this to the likes of Freddie Kissoon. Anyone who believes that Irfaan Ali deserves a second chance needs to go back at Burby's mental institution. And by tomorrow morning, I wouldn't mind paying a special hire for Freddie Kissoon and some of them on his show, to go back to the mental institution. Not to go, but to go back. Now let's go on the line. We have Ms. Gentle concerning this young man, Bernard, Quincy Bernard. We want to find out exactly what's this situation, and I'm glad that our operator is able to have Miss Gentle with us. Good night, ma'am. How are you doing?
Good night, Mark. Good night to the listening viewers near and far. I'm doing well, thanks.
And thank you so much. I know it's after 10, but can you give us an update on, it's your nephew, right?
My cousin.
Your cousin. Can you give us an update on Quincy Bernard, please?
Sure. So we found Quincy Bernard in a clump of bushes further down in Stanley Town this morning. We got him. We made contact with Mr. Nigel Hughes, as we took him as our legal attorney, and we surrender him to the police at the Diamond Police Station. Upon arrival there this morning, Mr. Hughes inquired if Quincy is wanted. What is he wanted for? The police on the ground fumbled. All the police officers who were present at the station this morning said this like a chorus. Not me, this man wanted, how he wanted. So we said, Mr. Hughes said, how can you ask me this question when it's being published on the Guyana Police Force page as wanted? And then they continue, we know. So they started to make some calls. Very interesting. Very interesting. One officer dressed in khaki, Mr. Light, said, and I quote, he has to make contact with Mr. Henry. Upon making that phone call, he reported to us Mr. Henry was not available. So Mr. Hughes continued to ask, isn't there somebody else in authority whom you can call to get some information as to whether or not Quincy Bernard is wanted, since you guys publish a wanted bulletin? The police were literally baffled. They could not have provided us with meaningful information. Mr. Hughes further asked about entries being made, a report being made, a lot. Up to when we left Diamond Police Station, the police officers there were unable to provide Mr. Hughes with any such complaint or entries to the allegation that is being levied against Quincy.
So nothing at all. So they don't know who's this alleged victim, according to the police. Any
We don't
names?
know.
I mean, not that you should give names, but has that victim been, so-called victim, I don't mean to say so-called, but the alleged victim has been identified?
A name was indeed provided to Mr. Hughes, but I will refrain from repeating the name. However, what I will say to you is that they said to Mr. Hughes, the complaint was made Friday last, and the allegation or the situation, the incident occurred in 2022. So Mr. Hughes Friday asks, if this complaint was made on Friday last, how come there isn't a file with a number attached to show me? There was nothing available.
Absolutely nothing. So where is your relative Quincy Bernard at this time again?
He is currently at Providence Police Station.
And exactly what time and where was he discovered? Where was he found, and what sort of condition was he in?
We found Quincy at around 3 a.m. this morning, further down in a clump of bushes. Of course, filled with mud, trembling, shivering, crying out for pains. And so, we as a family, we stand on principles. And we said to Quincy, a wanted bulletin is out for you, so this is the course of action we will take. We have been on the grounds all night. After the police left the village last night, we continue our search until we were able to locate Quincy in the back dams.
What did he say to you guys when you guys found him?
He said, based on the action of Mr. Allen, who was dressed in a black glove, and had his gun in his hand, he became fearful for his life. After he asked Mr. Allen 3 times, what am I wanted for at the station? And Mr. Allen refused to provide any information to him. He said to us, I was fearful for my life. Given the fact of the current situations that would have occurred in Guyana, whereby police would put people in the van and they would turn up dead subsequently. He was fearful, so he ran. When he ran, 2 shots were fired behind him.
So any one of those shots grazed him, hit him?
I am in no position to say whether or not he was hit. I will leave that medical aspect until Mr. Hughes is able to get the medical from the Diamond Hospital.
I know you guys were busy today, but what was the treatment like at Diamond Police Station when you guys turned up?
Very hostile. Very hostile. What was most alarming is a civilian who appears to be a police in CV, because he was operating in the building when he walked up to Ms. Brooms and Mr. Hughes and says, he said to them, and I quote, it had to be the 2 y'all again. You guys are always defending the criminals. Now, as a family, we took offense because a man is innocent until proven guilty. We took offense at that statement. We worked on principle. We found our family. We ensured he surrendered himself to the police. And for that individual to make such a comment, or the 2 y'all always again, y'all always in defense of criminals. So, in other words, Quincy Bernard does not deserve any sort of defense. Unlike the bandit who raped a 13-year-old and was placed on $100,000 bail. Unlike Dharmlal, who it was alleged also that he raped. He was defended, so I don't see why we shouldn't defend our relative. Again, Mr. Benchcop, I am not condoning wrong. I stand on firm principle. If after the investigation is done, And it is found that Quincy did what the police allege. It is wrong. It is wrong. Wrong cannot be right. We stand on firm principles.
So the matter is still under investigations, right? There's no charges. There's nothing. Just invest according to the police. That is.
According to the police at Providence Station. If I may back up a little, Quincy got discharged from the hospital like around 6:42 p.m. We were taken back to Diamond Police Station. We met a number of police, approximately 6 to 7 of them in the compound. Again, it was Nami, who dealing with this man. Nami, my contention is you put out a wanted bulletin for this man. And the man is there and it's Nami, who dealing with this man. Nami, you sure it's not you? And that was it again. At Providence Police Station, we were told, and I quote, he passed through the books at Providence. We have no other information about this matter. We will just be holding him here. End of quote.
So no other word from officers. A lot of officers with that name, Nami. Nami. Good. Nami.
No.
So,
nobody seems to know what is happening with Quincy's matter. Oh, we don't know. We just pass it through the book. We don't know. Nobody said anything to us.
Nami. All right. I know lots of folks within the Stanley Tongue and other areas and so forth went out in their numbers, and the community is so together. That's what you call a village. Here's your opportunity to thank again, maybe all those who went out and lent support, and even those who are watching who prayed for you and the family.
Great. On behalf of Quincy's mother, Carol Bernard, I am Kimon Gentle, Quincy's cousin. Heartfelt gratitude to all of the supporters near and far. Those of you who stood the grounds and you helped us to push back against the Guyana Police Force, because it was only until we highlighted the shooting incident then a wanted bulletin was published. We thank you so much for standing up with us and fighting against our oppressors, the Guyana Police Force. Those of you who have been praying, those of you who have been sending comforting words, we thank you ever so much. Again, you know me. I stand on principle. I am not condoning wrong. If it is that Quincy did carry out such act, it is wrong, and wrong cannot be right. Thank you for your prayers. We still need your prayers. We know the forces up against we are fighting. We know the Guyana Police Force is incompetent, and they have nothing good to say to us. They have nothing good in store for our kind of people. So please continue praying for us and praying with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and our prayers continue with you guys as well. Give our regards to his mom too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Good night.
Sure. All right. Kimon there, the relative of the young man, Quincy Bernard. Lots of conflicting reports coming out from the Guyana Police Force. And so we already can read between the lines. And what we say, read between the lines, we really mean read between the lines. Corruption galore throughout the country under the corrupt PPP regime. And folks, if you are not energized to go and vote this corrupt PPP regime out of office and vote the right set, and I really do mean it, I keep stressing, because I really do mean it, the right set of people, you've got to put the right set of people, patriots, real patriots, who are willing and capable, those who have the track record of standing up for the country, defending the country. You've got to vote for those people. Those are the people you have to vote for, not hustlers, Sorry about that. Always with some sort of little shades, right? But hey, my name is Mark Benchap. I know you want me to stay until maybe 11 o'clock or so, but let me say this to you guys with all due respect. Not me. Not me tonight. Hey, one of the things that whenever you run into Irfaan Ali, can you tell him to stop saying pellucidly clear? He wants to do it. He wants to make a point pellucidly clear. Pellucidly clear. Talk to that jacko. Talk to him. Guys, if you're not energized to go out and vote this corrupt PPP regime out of office, something's wrong with you guys. And you've got to do it the right way. Don't let emotions get in your way. And don't let people swar you. Don't be swar. For 400 plus years, don't you think those who were enslaved were swar? The first year they were swar. The first 100 years, they were swar. The second 100 year, they were swar. The third 100 years, they were swar. The fourth 100 years, they were swar. After they come all such a long way, are you going to allow yourselves to be swar by people who don't like you, but suddenly pretending that they love you? My name is Mark Benchap. I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 107.1 FM. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jasnity Kaldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Good morning. My name is Basil Blackman, AA. Good morning. My name is Basil Blackman. Good morning. My name is Basil Blackman.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su.
Hawk 2.
So it's in the rice price.
The rice price, something to do.